Hello, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about Introduction to Data. Let's look at the agenda. We will be learning about data. Then the DIKW model will be discussed. After that, we will be learning about measure of information, information sources, information content, and problem solving. What data is all about? Data is basically raw facts and figures. That are obtained experimentally or can be obtained from an existing database. For example, the numbers 1, 2, 25. This is a set of data. Also, if we write it like this, red, blue, green, this is also a set of data. But data, from the understanding, we can see that it has no meaning at all. It is not giving us any meaningful information. It is only when the data is processed, we get the information. So this is the definition of data. Now let us see how many types of data are there. Data can be analog in nature or it can be digital in nature. When we talk about analog data, it is basically a continuous set of numbers. So analog data is also called continuous data. For example, if we have a data set like this, 23, 23.2, 23.22, 23.586 and so on. So this is basically a continuous data set or analog data. From the data we can understand that we can have innumerable number of datas between 23 and 24. If we have two numbers, 23 and 24, in between the two numbers we can have innumerable number of data. So this is called analog data or continuous data. Now, digital data is a data which is discrete in nature. For example, we can have a data set like this, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, like that. So here we can see that the data set consists of discrete numbers. So in between 0 and 1, we do not have any numbers in between. But if we consider 0 and 1, in between 0 and 1, if we have analog data, we can have innumerable number of data like 0.01, 0.001, 0.23, 0.99, etc. So I hope this is understandable. Like analog data is a continuous in nature and discrete data is also called the digital data, which has a finite number of data in a total data set. Let us now understand the DIKW model. This is the DIKW model. It is in the form of a pyramid. At the base of the pyramid, we have data. So this stands for D of the DIKW model. At the next layer, we have information, which is I. At the third layer, we have knowledge, which is K. And at the topmost layer of the pyramid, we have W, which is wisdom. Now let us understand. Data basically gives the raw facts and figures. Information is the processed data which gives us meaning. Next, knowledge. Knowledge is basically the thinking ability or the cognitive ability of our system, where from the meaning of information, we think how we are going to use it to achieve our goal. So this is the context. And lastly, we have at the top of the pyramid, this is wisdom, which is basically how we apply this knowledge to achieve this work. So this is apply. Let us understand it with an example. For example, let's say we are writing the word red. So this is the data that we are getting. it is giving us no information at all, because red can be anything. We can have a red colored pen, we can have a red colored attire, we can have a red colored room, etc. Now we write traffic light is red at the crossing of sector 5. If we write it like this, traffic light is red at the crossing of sector 5, then we understand that this red means it is a traffic light becoming red at this particular street. Still, from this meaning, we are not understanding what to do. What is the knowledge? Now, knowledge is with reference to the context. From the meaning, we have to achieve our goals. Now we write traffic light is red at the crossing where Rita is driving. So we can understand that Rita is a person who is driving and she is at a crossing where the traffic light has turned red. Now, she is driving, so what to do? How to apply it? Now we go to wisdom. We are using our knowledge, that is our thinking ability or the intellectual ability, to understand what to do. So it is the applying for the work or the task that we have to do. Rita has to stop the car. So this is the example of DI-KW model. Let us understand it with another example. For example, for the raw data, we can write vanilla. For the information part, which will give us any meaning, we can write vanilla ice cream. For the knowledge part, we can write context. The party that I am attending is serving vanilla ice cream. So we understand with reference to what context we are getting this vanilla ice cream. Now for the wisdom part, what we can do, we can apply it for doing the work. What work we can do? I may taste the ice cream. Next, let us understand what is the measure of information. In order to understand the measure of information, let us look at the few statements. I am writing, sun rises in the east. This is the first statement. Sun rises in the east. The second statement is, it will rain today. And the third statement is, tsunami has hit India. From these statements, can we say which is having the highest probability of occurrence? We can assume that they are all events that are occurring. So which is the highest? Sun rises in the east is a daily event which is occurred. So it has the highest probability of occurrence. It will rain today has a probability which is lower than the first statement. And tsunami has hit India. This really comes as a shock to us because it is not a daily occurrence. So it has the lowest probability of occurrence. So we can understand here the probability of occurrence of event increases in this direction. Probability of occurrence increases in this direction. So information content will decrease. Sun rises in the east is having the highest probability of occurrence because so it is not going to give us any information. Whereas tsunami has hit India has the lowest probability of occurrence, so it will give us highest information. So on the other hand, uncertainty increases in this direction. So information content also increases in this direction. So we can see that probability is inversely proportional to the uncertainty of occurrence of the event. Now let us look at information sources. What is the meaning of information sources? These are basically events. Information sources are basically events. The outcome of these events are based on some probability distribution function. So this is the meaning of information source. Now there are two types of information sources. One is the continuous information source, which is having continuous numbers, and the other one is the discrete information source, which has finite set of symbols. For example, we can have continuous numbers like 0.23, 0.245, 1.3, 1.456, 2.3, etc. So this gives a continuous set of numbers and infinite set of numbers. On the other hand, if we understand the discrete information source, it will give us finite set of symbols like 1, 2, 24, 32, etc. So these are all finite set of symbols. So let us understand this discrete and continuous information source with the help of an example. All of us must have played the game dart at any point of our life. What is a dart? Dart basically is a game where we have a board fitted at one side, and in that board there are markings in the form of circles. And we have an arrowhead which we use to hit at the central point. Now let us understand how it can be used to understand the continuous and discrete information source. Now we can set up a finite set of symbols, like we can write information discrete, so ID. So we can write it like this: 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, so on. The ones will indicate the number of hits and the zeros will indicate the number of misses. Okay. So when we are hitting at the point, central point, we write it as 1, and when we are not hitting at the central point, we write it as 0. So these are the number of hits and number of misses. So the first one means we have hit it properly. The second 0 means we have not hit it properly, and so on. So this is giving us a discrete information source. We can have information source which is continuous in nature. We can write it like this: 0.23, 0.245, 1.3, etc. Now what are these? These are the values by which the target is missed. The target is missed by this amount of distance. So here this is a continuous set of symbols. So we can say that this is a continuous information source. Next, let us understand the information content of a symbol. We have already seen that information content, let's write it as I, is directly proportional to the uncertainty of occurrence of events. And so it is inversely proportional to the probability of occurrence of the event. We can write it as 1 by P. Now if the probability of occurrence of the event is 1, information content will be 0. If the probability of the event is 0, information content will be infinite. So, it is basically a logarithmic function. And we can write I is directly proportional to the logarithmic log of 1 by p. So, I is directly proportional to the log base 2 1 by p. Now, this base 2 happens because we are dealing with binary numbers. If we deal with decimal numbers, then we have to write log base 10 1 by p. And if we deal with 4 array numbers, we have to write log base 4 1 by p and so on. So in general, we can write I is proportional to the log base b 1 by p, where b is any number, either it is 2, 4, 10, etc. So let us understand information content with the help of this problem. It defines that a source produces one of 4 possible symbols during each interval having probabilities px1 equal to half, px2 equal to 1/4, px3 equal to px4 is equal to 1 by 8. Obtain the information content of each of these symbols. Now let us understand how to solve this problem. It is given px1 equal to half, px2 equal to 1 by 4, px3 equal to 1 by 8 and px4 also equal to 1 by 8. Now we know information is given as log base 2. Let us consider here that we are dealing with binary information because data communication means we are dealing with binary information. So if it is not mentioned, then we write log base 2. 1 by px1. This is I1. Similarly, I2 is equal to log base 2 1 by px2. I3 is equal to log base 2 1 by px3. And I4 is equal to log base 2 1 by px4. Now let us put the values of the probability. So it will be log base 2 1 by 1 by 2. So it is log base 2 2. So this is answer is 1. Next one will be log base 2 1 by 1 by 4. So this is log base 2 4. So log base 2 2 to the power 2. So it is 2 log base 2 2. So this is answer is 2. Similarly, this will be log base 2 1 by 8. So this will be log base 2 8. So the answer will be 3 here. Similarly, this will also be 1 by 8. So this will be log base 2 8. So this will also be 3. So the answers are like this. So here we come to the end of this lesson. In this lesson, we have learned about the meaning of data. What are the two different types of data? We have seen analog data. We have seen digital data. Then we have learned about the DIKW model. We learned about information content and how to measure information. Then we looked at one problem of information and we have seen how to solve that problem. Thank you.